Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's Your Weekly Theratea Podcast. My name is Tell Williams, or Mr. Williams Pre-K if you follow on the socials. I'm a therapist and I'm a teacher, and over here we have...
I am Anne-Marie DePietro, and I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Hi.
Hi.
I love that you didn't say it, and I'm still...
I know, I was gonna, but then I was like, I got nothing original, so I'm just going with it.
We're going to stick with this right now. How's your week been?
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Anything interesting or fun happen?
So this is my raging ADHD. That's a lie. I used a laundry service, right? Have you ever used a laundry service?
Yeah, like a few times, but yeah.
Yeah. So Colleen's like, I'll do the laundry. And I'm like, both of us together, not doing the laundry. So anyway, we've used it maybe like 4 times so far. So this weekend I was cleaning up the room. I'm like, let's just pack up like all the stuff. So we packed up Colleen's like quilted blanket that I had made for her with all her like high school and college like sports jerseys and t-shirts and stuff, because she played college lacrosse and soccer. So
she's athletic.
She is.
Okay.
She is. And so we had the quilt. I put that in there. I put like our comforter. I put like big items that you wash, right? Plus all of our clothes. It was 11 bags. Okay. So, Of laundry.
Okay.
Yeah. So it goes to the laundry service and, then they bring it back and whatever. So yesterday I'm like in the middle of an eval and I see like Colleen calling me and I'm like, that's weird. So she texts me and she's like, I'm calling you. And I was like, well, duh. But I was like, I'm in the middle of an eval. Like, I can't answer. So then she says to me, I had donations scheduled to be picked up today and they picked up our laundry.
All of it.
All of it. All of it. All 11 bags of it.
They thought they hit the jackpot.
Right. It's Colleen's like weeping, right? She's like, my blanket. I'm like, my pink good American suit.
my
I can never get another one. It's so hard to find pink scuba good American.
Oh my God.
I was distraught. And they didn't even take the bags labeled donate in front of the garage.
That's what's wild to me, because I can't imagine that the laundry bags were in something that like wouldn't look like a laundry bag.
Right. Well, they packed them in these like clear bags. I don't know why, but yeah. But they also like hang stuff up.
Right.
So like all the hanging stuff was on hangers. Why would you donate stuff on hangers?
They probably were like, this family's so nice. They cleaned the clothes, they hung up the clothes, they folded the clothes.
They're donating a good American pink scuba suit.
Yeah.
I'm like shaking thinking about my good American pink scuba suit.
Is it back?
No. So Colleen called and was like crying to like multiple women on the phone. And then she texted me today that supposedly they found all 11 bags and they're bringing them back from Hamilton, New Jersey tomorrow.
Oh my God. I don't know why in my head I got like an entire animated series of like the Brave Little Toaster, but your laundry just like going all over the place. Yeah.
Right.
It's giving Finding Nemo.
I mean, listen, I just keep swimming. Oh I was trying to just keep swimming, but I was like, how will I go on? My heart will not go on without the scuba suit.
There's like I'm like not attached surprisingly to a lot of like clothing items and things, because I usually buy like inexpensive stuff that I just wear to death. Or I'm very particular about the clothes I wear, because like
texture.
I'm more worried about like how it feels. There's very few things that if it went missing I'd be devastated by, but I do have like it's kind of like the pink of your microphone suit that I'll wear to some places. It's like a crop.
Rub it in, Tell.
And no, I would be devastated if something happened to it. And I couldn't find it for like 3 months one time, and it was because it was in the trunk of my car. But
oh my God.
Well,
must be nice.
But they're coming back. They say.
I mean, that's what they say, but what if the scuba suit's not in there?
Okay, question.
What?
Because I'm not like fancy. Like scuba diving?
So no.
Okay.
It's a suit, like an actual like suit that I wear when I give my talks and stuff, but it's in scuba material.
Oh.
Right. So it looks like a dress suit, but like it feels like scuba. Right. So you can basically wear it like in like 10 sizes because it stretches so much.
Or go swimming with it.
Right. Or go swimming with it.
Like if you're going to run into like a whale watching, you know, if you're going to try to find White Gladys,
right,
you're ready to go.
Right. Dive right in. Yeah.
So maybe that's what like White Gladys needs is like a little suit moment.
Oh, for sure. I mean, someone called Khloe Kardashian and see if they can make the scuba suit, one for White Gladys the orca, but two, make me another one.
Is it like you can't find it now?
No.
Oh.
So here's the thing. Whenever Good American makes pink scuba, it sells out like so fast. Like I was able to get a baby pink one like a few weeks ago. It wasn't scuba though. It was like the shimmer compression material. So that's a difference. Wow. That doesn't count. But anyway, I like went on and grabbed it like really quick. I just got lucky. So the thing was, but they make different pieces at different times. It's so weird. Right. So like I got the jacket and then like it took me forever to find pink scuba pants.
Of course.
And then, you know, so sometimes I have to look on like the eBays, you know, and
like an animal.
Yeah. And I just looked for more of the pink scuba just because it's one of those things where I'm like, what if I run out of pink scuba? Or what if my fiance gets my laundry donated to
Hamilton,
Vietnam Veterans of America? I was like, Colleen, did you call them and say like, I'm a disabled vet as of Sunday?
Oh yeah, because she's retired now.
As of Sunday, she is.
Is that where you guys donated it to?
Yeah, Vietnam. I mean, she's not a Vietnam vet. But
Yeah. But she's a vet.
Sergeant First Class Kitzinger is now a disabled veteran. She's going to kill me for saying that. Disabled veteran. But I was like, we're getting the license plate. I'm wearing a pin. You're standing up at the Eagles game. Yeah. Disabled vet.
Yeah. She's awesome, though. She should, like, I don't know, be proud of, like,
yeah.
I know she is. It's just probably hard because it's not a way you want to get it, like,
I know.
leave your career.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, my fiance had a rare form of appendix cancer a couple years ago, and she had to get half of her colon removed, and it was a whole big thing of her recovery, and she ended up having to retire from the military as a result, and she really did not want to. Right. You know, I was just thinking this morning, when I was in my office, I made Colleen that video for her retirement, right? I had her friend get me videos of like all of her soldiers that she trained and stuff, giving messages. And I'm in my office, like listening to them, and I'm like sobbing. And Tel comes into my office and I'm like sobbing, right? And I'm like trying to tell him how emotional I am. And he's like, oh my God, that guy is so hot.
He was.
And I was like, what?
It's one of those things. I'm not kidding when I tell people, like, if I am in like therapy, for example, like if I'm with a client and I know they're talking about something emotional, I know where the energy is going. Mm-hmm. I'm very easily able to decipher the mood or the emotion. Mm-hmm. If I walk into a situation and like just am like, especially a casual one, and there's someone that's like emoting, I don't grasp it all the time, like at all. I'll be like, that's weird, like, or I'll think they're joking, or I'm like reading their face and like trying to look at their face. I'm like, where's the joke?
You were not reading my face,
no,
sir.
I did not get it at all.
No, you were reading
not occur to me.
Policeman's face.
Whoever he was, hi.
I mean, listen, he sent me an Instagram message.
I know, he loved the work you did on that video.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I saved his for last. His was so cute, right?
Yeah. He was like, seemed like nervous, but was like sincere, but I was also like jawline.
Oh, jawline.
A jawline. I went home and told my husband about it immediately. I'm like, listen, I don't know who he is. I don't know where he's from.
Oh, and Jason loves the military men.
He does.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I mean, who doesn't? You're right. Military women were always my thing.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. I love the discounts.
So speaking of discounts, but like accidental discounts, I know I told you about this earlier, but I just have to tell the people because I feel so bad. I know. I feel really bad about it though. So when I first started teaching 11 years ago, teaching you don't make shit, right? But a lot of the teachers, they would work at a restaurant, and it was like a fancy schmancy one. So I did that for 3 months. It was terrible. I was so bad at it. But like tips are really, really important. So today and I feel so bad. I still I'm not gonna cry about it but I feel bad.
I'm rolling my eyes for people who can't see me right now.
I went today to get a haircut, and if I'm wearing a hat now, but if you've watched a couple of the episodes, like watch them, or if you like anytime on social media, my hair was really long, like especially like it was really long. Yeah, I hadn't cut it in like 3.5 months, and I always have my hair like very much almost to like a skin fade on the sides. But
people know because you twirl it.
Yeah, I'm always sitting there playing with my hair.
Yeah. So
I was like, okay, I want to do this like faux kind of mullet hawk thing. It's not like an actual mullet by any stretch. But I showed the picture to where I go get my hair cut, and the barber who used to cut my hair, he's no longer there. So someone new, and she was so nice. She was super sweet. And I said, do you think you can do this? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay, if not a big deal. She's like, no, I definitely can. She even said like a little like mullet moment. I'm like, kind of, yeah, but like this photo. And she was like, it's not that. It's
not.
It went from like showing pictures to people of it, and then like the haircut isn't bad, but like it's definitely not what you asked for, to then like when you saw it in person you're like, oh, that's bad. Like I have bald spots in the back of my head.
I was like coaching myself to like try to lie like the best I could, and I just couldn't.
No.
I was just like, and then it was worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Like I immediately texted one of my bridesmaids, Kelly, and I was like, I don't know what to say. I need you to look at this and figure out. Tell is crying. You need to fix it.
I literally was like, so when she got, and again, she was so sweet. And so when she got done, she was like, I'll take
someone can be sweet like while they're murdering you.
Well, but she wasn't doing it intentionally. Like no one would intentionally do it. A bad job. I know if you saw the hair, you guys would be like, how? But I think it's one of those things of like maybe not being able to advocate for yourself and saying like, I don't know how to do this haircut, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
And like not a big deal. Like there's times that I have clients and I'm like, hey, I think you'd be better off with, you pass them along. She didn't do that. And so afterwards she was like, I'll bring a mirror up front so you can stand in front of the big mirror and, see what the back looks like. I was like, great. And when we walked up front, she's like, oh, do you mind if I take some photos for social media? She took the photos. I paid for it, and then I realized I was like putting on my coat and was leaving, and I didn't check it. But I know when she was cutting it, because I could see some in the mirror, but again, the whole idea of it was like the sides and the back, and I can't see the sides and the back. But kind of like the more she used the clippers, and at one point I just like quickly kind of touched the back, and I was like, that's skin. There's no hair back here anymore. And it was long. My hair was so long. And so long. I got to I think I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be bad. And I got to my car and I was like, there are people dying, Tyler. Like it was a very Kim Kardashian. Kim, there are people that are dying. Like there's like literally millions of people in Gaza starving right now. And I was sobbing uncontrollably in my car. And I think it's because like my self-esteem was hanging on by this much. And that completely like just dissimulated it. It just bombed. It was just like, it was horrible.
Hair is an emotional thing. It really is.
If it wasn't, it would have been fine if it was like a typical haircut I usually get and not the one that I wanted, but like still one that I would normally get. I would never, no one would cut their hair like this. I'm not going to take my hat off. I'll put pictures of it, but like my hair's super long in the front still, but right here at the top of my head shaved. The side shaved. It's
not okay.
I look like Roger from Doug.
There's like some like weird like curvature thing in the back. It's looking a little mushroom like.
Y'all, it's
like
I can't even say it's like 90s.
I mean, I have to say, like Kelly is one of those people that's like so super nice that she like doesn't really react to much. But I'm pretty sure in the voice memo she sent in reaction, she was like, "Oh my God, that's so bad!" Like 5 times.
She goes, "It's not, the haircut's not. Oh my God, the back." And then she's like, "It's not. There's bald spots." And and then she was like, and it's a his colic, because like it's, or colic, whatever it's called, it's like it's shaved all the way up to like where my headphones are. And I was like, and so they called, and the barber that Kelly works with was like, I can fix the fade, but like you can't put 3 inches of hair back on your head. It's gonna probably take a good 6 months to a year for me to be able to have anything like that remotely again. I will say, like, the sides, like up here, it's completely shaved too, and this took me a full year to grow out. So it's fucked. Like,
I thought, like, maybe the universe wanted you to get a different haircut, and Emerson will give you like the Mr. Williams cut.
I know. I was, if I would have
asking for a facial too,
like to like.
I was in there watching them too. There's 2 barbers that work there. One of them give like this dude a facial, and I was like, Kelly, WTF, where's mine?
Every time you say this though, my head is not going to a barbershop facial, so I'm like dying right now.
Really? What's it going to? Oh.
You're like, I watched another guy, and I was like, girl, where am I going tomorrow?
Oh my God.
No, but Emerson and Kelly, they're good people. Emerson's a good dude for being like, let me fix this. And they weren't lying. He said,
I would love to fix it.
Yeah, I would love. And he
what a little gem.
Yeah, and just like put me in randomly for 3 o'clock on a Friday, like tomorrow. Like there's no way that he had that open.
Like Kelly jumped on it. She was like, let me just do this.
It's probably one of those things they're like, okay, it's not bad. And they saw, and they're like, oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, Kelly said, like, he was like, oh my God. Well,
and it was because in the thing, she's like, well, if I remember right, his hair is pretty long. So I found a picture of, a video, and I screenshot it of myself on Wednesday or Sunday, and my head was turned to the side so you could see the back, and they were like, oh, it was so long. So
bad. Yeah. One time, Kelly, one of my ex-girlfriends went to see Kelly, and she showed Kelly this picture that she wanted her hair. It was basically like a Ruby Rose picture. You know, Ruby Rose. Okay.
Oh yeah, Batgirl.
Yeah. Kelly goes, your hair's way too thin for that. It will look horrible. But like,
you need that.
Right?
And I think that's the thing. If like, and I've had barbers be like, don't do that. I'm like, okay, good, I won't. Or, I guess like segueing us into like our discussion today, like if I have like a dude, like if I'm dating someone, and I'm like, I kind of want to do this with my hair. I want to get a tattoo. I want to do this or this. And they're like, no. Oh, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Oh, for sure.
And even if it looks bad, I'm gonna rock that shit as long as I can.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
don't tell me what to do.
Right.
You're not gonna do that.
Absolutely.
Like Jason all the time will be like, I love your hair dark. I don't love it blonde, but he will never tell me what to do and what not to do, and like encourages me to do whatever I want. I'm like, that's the shit we need.
Right.
That is, what is that? King shit right there.
Yeah, it is.
So this week after our 20-minute segue of catching you guys up on our lives. This week there was his name on social media is Alpha Dom, which is so gross. You can't nickname yourself. Huge pet peeve. Nicknaming yourself and proclaiming that you look like a celebrity when you don't. Cringe. Oh my God. Cringe.
Oh, did you see the Love is Blind one?
How I feel so bad. Like, ma'am, someone lied to you several times.
It's so funny because when I first started dating Colleen, people were like, she looks like Megan Fox.
Because the dark hair.
Like, dying.
Yeah. And I can see
that,
Colleen
though. Sometimes like really does look like Megan Fox.
Look, I see.
Let's bring up a picture of Colleen right now and Megan Fox.
Yeah, it's like if Megan Fox and Shannon, like young Shannon Daughtry had a child, it'd be Colleen.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That Love is Blind Chica did not look like her. And that's okay. She's beautiful, but don't do that to yourself even. Like, you don't have to compare yourself to someone else, baby.
And all the TikToks and reels that were made of it were, like, they were hilarious.
It's not she wasn't attractive. She's so pretty. So it's like, stop. Like, she's still pretty. She just doesn't look like fucking Megan Fox.
Right.
Like,
right.
Okay, but sorry, I digress.
Yeah, we digress. Sorry.
When you don't nickname yourself, it's gross. But this dude, his video went viral because he was saying that you do not have to accept a woman's rejection. Is that what he said? Yeah, you do not have to accept a woman's rejection. And he's like, I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to date. Baby, I don't know. Like, how do you call yourself a professional? You can't just say that. You can't just be like, I'm a professional at this. Like, what are your credentials? Where'd you go to school?
In his head.
oh God. But so there was, I wonder if I can pull up the, essentially what he was saying is that you do not have to, if a woman turns you down, you can continue to like essentially harass her until she says, okay, I'll date you. That's embarrassing. And no, you can't do that. You can't do that because we need to practice consent, baby.
I mean, that basically happened to me at my conference.
You were, okay, yeah. So talk to me about this.
It's been so long since something like this happened to me. So I was at this conference this weekend, psychiatrists, psych MPs, PAs, and they had like a welcome dinner thing. Yeah. So I go to the welcome dinner. I don't know like anyone at this conference, like literally no one. So I start talking to this one psychiatrist. We were talking about drug trials. He had done drug trials with some of the drugs that I speak for. So we were talking about new drug trials. And then we just ended up like sitting together at dinner. We were making fun of the presentations because why not? And it was just like totally normal, right? Like I don't interact with people much at these things, but like it's not like we were talking about like our lives. We were talking about like, you know, using the specific antipsychotic I speak for in like a pediatric population, right? So after the dinner, like a lot of people were going up to like the hotel bar, and he was like, we didn't really eat dinner because, you know, I don't do buffets really. Yeah,
I don't.
So
even before COVID, it's like, baby, that's a lot of hands on
that food. And it's always just like chicken, and chicken like creeps me out, and in a buffet scenario. So we didn't really eat, and so he was like, I'm gonna grab something to eat at the bar, like, and a drink. And I was like, okay, I'll like get something to eat at the bar too. Up until this point, he was fine. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And like a bunch of people were going, so I was like, whatever. But really, I was like super interested in the drug trials he was doing, because you don't really, like, drug companies won't tell you what diagnoses they're investigating. So I just like to get the tea, literally. So it's totally fine for like a while. And like there were all like MPs and doctors around, like probably like 25 people around us. And then all of a sudden it just goes downhill like so fast. And he was like, you know, I'm pretty perceptive. Like I see that ring on your finger. And I was like, okay. Good. And he was like, but I just have to tell you, you are like really hot. I was like, thank you. And then it just like devolved from there. Then he was just like, if you weren't engaged, I would totally have sex with you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, I would date you too, but I would definitely have sex with you. And I was like, I am not the type of person to like just like freeze, but like in that moment, like I froze. I was like, all I kept thinking in my head was like, Colleen would fucking kill this person.
Oh, for sure.
So the only thing I managed to like get out of my mouth was my fiance is a sergeant first class in the Army, and she trains people on all the weapons that the Army has and uses. Way over his head. Exactly. And he was still like, you are so, like, look at your hair. Then he touched my hair.
No.
Yeah. And I was, so I go, it's not real.
Like, this is expensive. Please don't touch it.
Yeah. And he was like, you're just like so beautiful in this like pink suit. You have the pink suit.
Maybe that scuba suit was like, baby, that wasn't enough laundry.
I know.
I need to go away.
And then he touched my leg.
No.
Yeah. Like the top of my leg.
This is like a professional.
This is a psychiatrist.
I mean, I know that like conferences, they get crazy, but like, dude, what the fuck?
Right. Right. So some angel, God bless her heart, but actually he said, I want to have sex with you like so many times. Like I can't even tell you. And the last time a straight man like said that to me, I mean, I'm sure they've thought it, but like, you know,
don't say it out loud.
Right. So this angel baby from the table next to me and this dude like come up to me, and they were like, oh, come talk to us over here. And like literally like physically guided me over to the other table. So like praise God for them. But then I guess I like got myself together, and they were like asking me what happened, and I was like telling them. And then this psychiatrist next to me was like, well, why'd you go to the bar with him? And I was like, what? And he's like, well, why'd you sit over there for so long? And I was like, Well, first of all, we were talking about research trials.
Right.
Second of all, dude, you're a mental health professional. Like, do we victim blame now?
Exactly.
Like, what? Like,
I think that's what, like, it was nice that they came over and, like, helped you out. Because, like, obviously they could see you were
It was a different guy, though.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't the people that came to help me. Oh, yeah, no. The people that came to help me were great. They were really sweet, yeah.
I think what, like, is completely startling to me is, one, psychiatrist dude is in mental health, so that's fucked. But two, like, he's that, like, brazen about it at any public, at a professional. And again, I know that conferences get, like, wacky and crazy and stuff like that, but, like, that's not wacky and crazy. That is, like, being, like, you know, predatory.
Oh, right. And I'm thinking in my head, which I should have said out loud, like, even if I was single, what makes you think I would have sex with you?
And he needs to know this.
Right.
I feel like this is the thing. When we do not encourage, like, learning about consent, specifically to, like, young men and older men, just in general, like, this is the shit that happens. Because, like, I feel like it's not even an idea of, like, oh, I think some of it isn't an idea of, like, oh, I have to, like, keep asking and it'll be a yes. I think some of it is, like, such a fear of being rejected that they're like, I have to keep asking and, like, almost like get more desperate because, like, they can feel that feeling of rejection coming along, and they would rather, like, be complete ass faces than to feel the uncomfortability of what we've all experienced in life, which is rejection.
Right. I feel like he, like, kept saying it because he was, like, trying to gauge, like, was I gonna, like, take his bait? Like,
no.
And, like, I must have mentioned my fiance being in the military, like, 42 times. Like, Colleen's going to kill me when she hears this too, because I didn't even go into this much detail, because anytime Colleen's had to, like, step in any capacity, it has not been good. No. Like, Colleen was, like, the grade school kid, like, beating people up. Like, I mean, legit.
Bam, bam, motherfucker.
Yeah. Like, she broke someone's arm in basic training.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, training or, like...
Training. So, like, you know how you're supposed to, like, tap... Well, how would you know?
I wouldn't.
But when you're, like, learning combatives, you're supposed to tap out.
Yeah.
And this girl didn't tap out when she should have, and Colleen broke her arm.
I would always lead with that story now.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a guy big... My fiance breaks arms.
Yeah.
For a job.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever, well, you went to an all-girls school, didn't you?
I did.
I'm trying to think about my public school in Indy fucking Indiana. Like, I mean, but, like, I don't remember there being almost any focus, if at all, on, like, consent, because everything is about being abstinent. And if you're not abstinent, this is the shit that can happen.
Right.
And so I feel like it never goes into this idea of, like, consent.
Right. All I remember from high school, and this is such a distinctive memory, is we used to have chastity assemblies, right? So, like, they'd bring in a company to come in, like the You're Worth Waiting For company. I don't know if that's what it's called. And I distinctly remember this guy holding up a box of chocolate, and it was half eaten. And they were like, if you have sex before marriage, it's like giving your husband a half eaten box of chocolates. Swear to God, I was like horrified. Like,
well, first of all, maybe that half-eaten box was all of the coconut that someone ate, and no one wants the coconut chocolate, so baby, you're good to go. If that box of chocolate had only caramel and dark chocolate, milk chocolate in it, I'm going to town on it, baby.
Chocolate-covered cherries?
Yeah, give it to me.
Right.
But, like,
even if the chocolate-covered cherries were the only ones left.
You know, sometimes we have to get all of the learning out before we meet our forever person. And maybe those guys that come along the way were the coconut chocolates. And we don't want those.
Probably, no. We don't want them.
I want to stand in front of my man and say, hey, baby, all the coconut chocolates are gone.
Here's the salted caramel just for you.
Oh, my God. I love me a salted caramel
I know,
moment.
me too.
Shit, I love that. But no, that's so fucked.
I know, it is really fucked.
And I just don't think we... teach well, so first of all, teaching that is fucked up, because then, like, girls are gonna feel terrible about themselves. But then on top of that, I don't think I can guarantee when I was in school we didn't do anything remotely of, like, how to ask for permission, or, like, if someone's too drunk, don't do this. And
no, for sure, no. And in college, I was the Panhellenic president, which is like the governing body of all the sororities. And one of my initiatives, I was also, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I have a bachelor's in women's studies
I love
too.
that.
Yeah. So I was like big into like any of the feminist groups on campus and whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the campaigns that I did was Greek life and consent. And there was this other really cool group on campus called Men Against Violence.
Oh, cool.
And it was like a group of men that went around and had like different events like focusing on consent. So we did them in like all the different fraternity houses, and you would not even believe that people like didn't realize that drunk people can't give consent.
Right.
Like,
or like this, when I posted the video of Dude, like the idea of enthusiastic consent, right? Which,
or with withdrawing consent.
yeah, because at any time, baby, you can withdraw your consent, and it doesn't matter if the other person was like all about it. It's done. Done.
You could take a look at that and be like, nah.
Never mind. You know what? Not feeling it.
Tell looks better in his gray sweatpants than this dude.
Sorry. But no, I think that's like, and enthusiastic consent too. I didn't even like, I knew of it, but I didn't know like the formalities of it and teaching it until I was like in graduate school. But like, if you have to convince someone to date you, to have sex with you, to talk to you, to give them your number, if you have to do extensive convincing or convincing at all, it's a no.
Right.
And we are good enough that we don't have to convince anyone to be with us. You know what I mean? So if you're talking to someone and you say, can I have your number? And they're no. And you continue to ask, like, don't humiliate yourself, baby. You're better than that, you know? And I think it's just this like idea of not teaching young men, like it's okay to experience and feel a negative emotion because we only teach them about the good. And so I feel like the first time they're feeling that rejection, it's like a panic of like, this is not a good feeling, it's a bad feeling, and I can't be rejected because they don't talk openly about feelings because we're horrible with men and mental health. And so then it's this idea of like, well, I would rather do XYZ than to feel shitty or feel. That's why, like, have you seen those videos of the guys being like, you're so pretty, and the girl's like, oh, I have a boyfriend. So, you know what, fuck you, you're not that pretty anyways, ugly. And I'm like, like, it's just so wild because you know that happens. But like, this dude being online, so many people stitched him because he's a dating coach. I don't know if he has any clients. God, I hope not. But I'm like, women have enough to worry about. Trans women have enough to worry about of like, you know, someone asking for their number and they say no, and they're like fucking murdered over it. And so now they have to worry about some asshole taking Alpha Dom's fucking class and being like, I don't like rejection and I can't be rejected if I just keep asking you over and over. No, baby.
Right.
It's not cute. And that's why we also need to stop playing hard to get.
Oh, just be authentic, man.
You have to.
That whole like, I'm going to wait 27 and a half minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I can't text back right away.
Right.
Right. Or like, I keep telling him no so that this, and that's like, I used to be that bitch. Oh, I would put a timer on so I wouldn't text you back so fast.
Oh,
I know. I think that's why I'm horrible at texting now.
You are very bad at texting.
Because I trained myself
bad.
to be, if he left you on read for 2 days, you leave him on read for 2 days. But it would be like a half hour. I'm like, oh my God, sorry. But like, it's this like we are then in like only like cementing this foundation of like rejections. Oh, like don't accept rejection, keep going. If we're willing to play hard to get, then if we want to date someone, we want to have sex with someone, we want to give them our number, let's just
do it.
If it feels safe and it feels authentic and it feels good, then do it. But when we're playing this like hard to get, and not like, oh, let's wait, can we see will this go, like actually have a conversation of you being like no but liking them. Did I ever tell you about the girl when I was in college?
No. Okay,
so I went to IPFW, which is I don't even think a thing anymore, in Indiana, and the it wasn't student housing. It wasn't student housing, but it was student housing. So all of the apartments faced into a basketball courtyard. And me and my friend were on our balcony, and it was like 2 a.m. And this group of girls come onto the court, and these guys are playing basketball, and this girl's hammered. And I have to say, like, something about IPFW, they're teaching the guys what they're supposed to do, because the guys are like, she's so drunk, and they're like, the girl's like going up to the guys and like one in particular, and she's like, chase me. And then he like chased her. She's like, no, stop. And doing this. And I was like, and the guy was like, this is too much. And the guys are trying to distance themselves away. The girl keeps doing that. She pats him, goes to run up the stairs. There's those cement stairs.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, bam, hits it.
Oh no.
Ain't got no goddamn teeth. All of them gone. You hear wailing. No. I swear to God.
No.
You see the guy this guy she doesn't know picks her up, and her roommate's like, over there, and they're taking her to there's an ambulance there within like 5 minutes. I'm like, baby. Was
someone picking up her teeth?
I don't know that anyone. I think they were like broken. Like, it's cement. It's like curb biting. I know. Oh. And me and my friend are like, I mean, because it's the court. I mean, it's like you could like fart in the middle of this courtyard and it would be like echo throughout everything because of the way the acoustics were. So, I mean, baby, don't play hard to get, because if we do,
you're going to lose all your teeth. You're going to lose your teeth.
Don't ask someone to chase you. We're not going to do that. We're better than this.
We are better.
We can't be losing our teeth this early.
No.
Yeah. Devastated.
That's terrible. I feel like when relationships start out with like chasing, it never ends well.
No. I mean, have you chased in a relationship?
No, I mean, Colleen almost got like banged on after she tried to play a little game. Well, she claims it wasn't, but
with you.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we met on Hinge and we sent a couple messages back and forth, and then I was the last one to send one, and like I didn't hear from her for a couple of days, and I was like, oh, I thought we were like going back and forth. Like, what's the deal? Yeah. So I double messaged, which I usually wouldn't do.
Right.
And then I think I must have given her my number. And then this is what she says to me. I had to turn my notifications off because I was getting too many. Must be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, I'm so sorry.
It must be so hard to keep up with all of the messages.
Right.
But that makes sense. That checks out, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So I let that one go, but we were raising the yellow flag.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. It went from like green to like light yellow. Mm-hmm. You know, like a line.
We were like yield sign.
Yeah,
traffic circle.
I don't. You see, you guys met on Hinge.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but the first time I ever saw a Hinge commercial, I cried hysterically. Because I felt bad for the little thing that goes away.
Oh.
For the little app thing, because it's fur. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what it was, but I'm like watching it. And it was like, the app that's made to be deleted. And I was like,
yeah.
That little furry thing seems so sad that it's gone. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, my God, Tell, you have a hard time crying at your mother's funeral, but you're crying over a fucking Hinge ad.
Oh my God.
That little thing. Like, could you imagine if like the Duolingo owl, if something happened to him?
Oh my gosh. Devastation. That is devastating.
I know.
I didn't even like Hinge that much, so it's like really ironic, but
don't you think?
You know?
They won't be invited to the wedding.
No. It's like rain on your wedding day.
Yeah, it's like Hinge. Mm-hmm. You have to play that song at the wedding now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. We were gonna play it anyway.
I think that like, because I definitely, and it wasn't even like technically rejection. I was played up like it was rejection.
Disgusting.
I'm so gross. I think I've like always joked about, because I think it's always fun to be like self-deprecating in your comedy. But like I like asked Jason so many times, like, go on a date with me, and he didn't technically like turn me down and say no. It's just like, I'm busy now, it's not the time. So then I would like pull away, but then he'd still message back. And he wasn't that he was playing hard to get. It's that, again, like, not everyone can just drop what the fuck they're doing to go on a date with you, because he was getting his dissertation. And so I think that's why, like, again, I'm like a huge advocate of like, if it's something you want, then just be like, I'm really busy right now. I'd love to go on a date with you. I don't know if it's happening anytime soon. Because I was like, oh, then just keep going. But now, if that had happened, if I'd met Jason at 32 and it was like that, I wouldn't ask a second time.
Oh, no, for sure.
You know?
Like, Colleen and I talked for a few days, and like Colleen seemed like she was like just fine to keep talking. And I was like, listen, we're going to need to like meet up like ASAP, because I don't like wasting time.
100%.
And she was like so offended. And I was like, well, why would I keep talking to you if it's like not going to work in person? Like, that's a waste of my time. She's like, well, wouldn't you want to be friends? And I was like, TBH, no.
Right. And I think that's the shit that we need to be touching. That's the shit we need to be teaching when we're talking about like couples and stuff like that. Like, we need to be teaching like this idea of like, be honest with what you want, be honest with your intention. If you want to meet up, meet the fuck up. Like, don't sit there and like, you know, dilly-dally around. Like, I mean, there's always the talking phase and stuff like that, but like, I don't know. It's if we were taught more about like being authentic and honest and real and outspoken in what we wanted, then we wouldn't have these things. And we'd have to teach people to be receptive to that, right? Because it doesn't feel good to get rejected.
No. But one of my patients, maybe it was like a year ago now, she had gotten divorced and then she was in a relationship with this other guy. And like randomly, after they had been dating for like a couple years, he just like completely changed and broke up with her. Like kind of what happened to your friend. Yeah. And like I had this really long talk with her about insecure attachment afterward and like ignoring red flags and, having to look like cherry pick good things and love bombing. And we talked about the pursuer distancer thing. And she like got super into it. And I like gave her a few like podcasts to listen to and books and whatever. And I was like, you have to just like when you go on dates, you have to think like, are my needs being met and just 100%. Like be curious about the person instead of like, I wonder if I'll wear white or ivory at our wedding because you haven't even decided if you like them yet. Like, 100%. Are you sitting there having a good time?
Right.
So, we talked about this a lot and I talked to her. I hadn't talked to her in 3 months and because we see each other every 3 months. And yesterday she was telling me about this guy that she met that she was like, Imri, he has everything I've ever wanted. And like, I promise you, I looked for red flags and I didn't see any. And he's consistent and he's authentic and like all the buzzwords that I used, And I was like, oh. She
learned.
Yeah, she did.
I think it's just a learning curve, right? And I think that because we aren't taught it, then we do have to learn it. And I think it's just being receptive to the learning. Because I feel like when it comes to like ghosting, right? Because ghosting is like probably one of the shittiest forms of rejection, right? Like, that's horrible to do to someone. But I feel like, it tends to be one of two things. It's either like you're afraid of rejecting the other person. Like if a woman's afraid of, being fucking murdered for it, then ghosting. And I think a lot of men tend to do it if they realize that the person they're dating is like a knockout, amazing person and that like it's not going to work out. I feel like they tend to ghost then because they're like, I'm going to get rejected. And I'd rather do the rejecting. And we haven't been taught the like emotional intelligence enough to be like in maturity to sit there and say, hey, this isn't going to work out. It doesn't, like, I'm sorry, but we say dating differently than what the steps are.
We do.
So dating is very serious.
It is.
It is. And I was like, so I would be like, are you two dating? And someone would be like, oh, like if you're 26 and under, I feel like probably. I'd be like, are you dating? And they'd be like, no, we're just talking. And I was like, huh? And like dating's like, I was like, isn't dating talking? Like, no, dating's like when you're boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm like, oh. I never, when I was saying if I was dating, I could be dating multiple people, or like if I'm dating someone, it's very casual. Like we have not defined anything, which again, like I said, I had no idea. But like, I feel like even if you're dating or talking, you still, that other person you're talking with still deserves to know whether or not this is going to continue or if you want to stop it. I don't feel like it's casual enough that you can just stop texting or calling or that person.
No, for sure. No. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, do someone's words match their actions? Because if it doesn't, you're heading down the wrong path.
Jonah Hill. Do you guys remember a few months ago? It was a few months ago. His girlfriend.
The surfer. Yeah.
So she's in the water for a living. She's not wearing a pink scuba pantsuit, but
Chloe did not make her one.
She was like, not
she
yet.
Didn't get on the website soon enough.
Jonah
Hill boyfriend told her no.
Yeah. Jonah said absolutely not.
Jonah said, I don't like Chloe. You can't buy her clothes. You can't
do that. But he told her that she couldn't wear bathing suits, or that was disrespectful to him, or that like she shouldn't talk to this person or this person or this person. And like she essentially posted all like the conversation between the two of them. And I think like his like response to it was like, that's our private messages. I'm like, dude, like it's toxic shit like that. Like if you feel like the person you're dating is controlling right? Or immediately telling you who you can and can't hang out with, baby, they're distancing you and for not a good reason.
Right.
We can't be doing that.
No.
We can't be everyone's everything all at the same time.
No. And I feel like sometimes we joke about red flags, but really, like, our brains do have a tendency to ignore red flags.
And it's weird because it's like the tendency to ignore them, but to like, there's somewhere in your head that goes, oh, and then puts it aside.
Right. Especially if you're used to living in chaos. Like,
100%.
You'll notice that you keep repeating the same relationships over and over and over, because if you get into a relationship that's like stable and consistent and authentic, you're like, I'm bored. What's happening? This is weird.
Right.
I'm not like anxious all the time about whether they're texting me back or not.
Well, I think some of it too is when we're in those moments of chaos, right? That we think it's like this crazy, passionate love thing, right? And when it's calm, I think some people, when they're used to the chaos, that calmness, that healthiness is like, they're cheating on me. They're doing something else. They're bored with me. It's like, no, honey, no one's bored. This is called healthy. Like
Or they're boring.
Yeah. 100%. Like, they're just like, not this, they're not that. I'm like, yes, there's plenty of boring people out there that you could potentially be dating. But if you're used to that chaos, like, I promise you, it is not, you do not want it to be a typical part of your relationship to be screaming at each other. Arguments, argue all the time, baby. Fighting, not okay. No.
I think that, like, a lot of these relationships start with love bombing.
100%.
So, like, by the time you realize that things aren't perfect, you're already attached.
Right.
And then it's about making the decision, like, for yourself to end that attachment because your needs aren't being met.
Right.
Which is a conscious thing you need to think about. Like, I can't tell you how many times I say to clients, like, are your needs being met? And they're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm like, are your needs
Well, they're happy, so
being
I'm happy.
met?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, well, let's start there.
Yeah. And I think, like, because at the beginning of if they're being love bombed, they were mad, right? And I think someone the other day, which I was, like, sad that it wasn't known. But so if you don't know what love bombing is, it's at the beginning of a relationship. If the person is being, like, overly affectionate, overly giving a bunch of gifts, or being, like, way more accommodating than they actually truly are, right? And so that's not to say there's going to be people that you date that aren't amazing and sweet and do all these things, but it's when
consistent.
Yes, it's consistency. It's whether or not there was, like, a reason for that. Did you guys get in a fight and they are, like, love bombing you to keep you to get you to stay? But, like, I'm always apprehensive when someone's like, every Wednesday he gives me flowers and this, and this. And, like, but, like, they'll argue extensively. And then it's that. And then, like, well, this Wednesday he didn't. And then, well, it's only once a month now. And then it's like, well, no, because I was, again, trying to manipulate you and gaslight you until, like, stay here. And then when you see that, then things are getting, the nice things are slowly starting to go away and the negativity is rubbing up. Baby, you were love bombed.
And then it goes into this pursuer distancer complex because the insecurely attached person, well, I mean, both people in that scenario of insecure attachment, but the avoidant in that situation then distances because after they've loved bombed, then they start to get scared, and then they withdraw, like almost like they won.
Right.
And now they distance, which automatically makes the other person pursue them.
Absolutely. Well, exactly, right? Because it's like, well, okay, I did my part. I made them really, really like me, and got them everything they wanted, and took care of every emotional and physical need they had. So now I can sit back while the other person is freaking the fuck out because they did all their work, right? Now they can relax and be super, super toxic.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
And again, it's not to say that, like, I've also, talked to friends who are, like, still 5-6 years later, their significant other is still the sweetest person they is when they left. But, like, it's, again, those
consistent
red flags. And those red flags that we think to ourselves, I'm just going to ignore it. And the red flag keeps popping up. Like, after a while, baby.
Like, in the beginning, he texts you back all the time. He calls, or she, he or she, or they.
Yeah.
We'll just use he, but we mean any pronoun. you know, he's calling you all the time, he's texting you all the time, he's asking you to go out all the time, he's including you in everything, and then all of a sudden, like, the texts get longer in between, and then you're hanging out less, and then you're having to confirm plans, and plans get canceled, and you're like constantly chasing that. Have I told you my vending machine analogy? I feel like I have. Yeah. Have we talked about that on the podcast already?
I don't know, but I say it again because I fucking love it.
Okay. So it's like the phenomenon of a vending machine. So you say you go to the vending machine every day and you put in your $1 and your Diet Coke comes out.
Oh my God, I'm drinking one right now.
Oh, perfect. And you do this every day. You go to the same vending machine, you put your $1 in, and you always get your Diet Coke. And then one day you put your $1 in and the Diet Coke doesn't come out. Do you just like get up and walk away from the vending machine?
No, I put another $1 in.
Okay, so what if the other $1 didn't work?
I don't know.
What would you do? Would you walk away if the other $1 didn't work?
I don't know that I would. All right, maybe I would go ask for someone for help because I'm pretty sure there's a Diet Coke in there.
Right, right. So what if there was no one else around? What would you do? Would you try to get it out?
I might shake it a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you would not just like get up and walk away, you would like turn it up. So 100%. You'd like, you know, shake the vending machine, go ask for help, maybe like tap on it. You would do all these things you wouldn't normally do to try to get the same result you were getting, like your Diet Coke. Eventually, the idea is you are like, well, whatever, I'm not getting the Diet Coke, so I'll just walk away.
Yeah.
But it takes people a really long time to stop trying to get the Diet Coke out of the vending machine. Yeah. And that 100%. Like ultimate, like not going back to the vending machine to try to get your Diet Coke is like that attachment ending.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
My autistic ass, I have to tell you this.
Oh gosh, what?
I don't know what it is about vending machines. You know when like they just started being able to accept debit cards?
Yeah.
Okay, so for some reason, our debit card, when those first came out, would not work for any vending machine at all, like ever. And I don't know why, but like if a vending, or even if I put money in it, for example, and it just doesn't work, if anyone could even be around, if someone could be 100 feet away around the corner, I get so wildly embarrassed, I just walk away.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't matter if I put $30 into that motherfucker, I will just walk away. I get so irrationally embarrassed because I'm like, people watch me and they thought, oh my God, he didn't get his stuff. Or like even if it gets stuck, I'm like, if I tap it, I'll look, I don't know what it is. I'm like, I can't do that. People will probably think, why is he tapping that? Even though like...
You're ruining my analogy right now.
This probably hurts because we're trying to figure out, how, you know, fucking toxic men.
Oh my God, toxic men. At least we're not talking about toxic women.
No, that could be a whole other...
Oh my God, one of my patients' moms today asked me, like, do you think it would be helpful for her to listen to our podcast? And I was like... No,
perhaps not.
Probably not. Maybe like the last one with that little angel baby, but
yeah, but not.
Definitely not the one where I talk about past relationships. Right. Please don't.
Right. I think sometimes though it's helpful to be like, oh, sometimes my therapist is a human too.
Oh,
they're just as real as I am. No, I feel like if you had to, I'm trying to think of like who the top. If we had to put like famous, like the most famous dudes on like our top 10 red flag, toxic dude, do not pass go, do not collect $200.
Oh my God. Can we do women after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I can do men, you can do women.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, I'm trying to think of who like the most famous, like dudes that just give me the ick in Hollywood. Dudes that give me the red flags. Okay. I'll do 5 because I don't think I can keep track of 10
I think
in my head.
5's good.
One that I've always been like, ew, no, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh.
There's something about him only dating people until they're like 26 or maybe I think even younger than that. But like he just gives me the icks, right? And he's a very fine, talented actor. But the amount of people
I've let go, like, Jack.
Oh my God. I would be like, sorry, baby. Like, goodbye. I would be like pushing down a little bit.
I know there's room on the door, but no.
Not on this one.
Not on my door.
He'd be like, oh my God, are you sure it's like a California king size door? I'm like, baby, I have to be able to roll. You know what I mean?
No room on my door, sir.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye. But he's like really high up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Other toxic dudes, I'm like, absolutely not. Woody Allen, is that his name? The one that married his stepdaughter?
He did.
Is that the guy who made Midnight in Paris?
I don't know.
I think it's Woody Allen, right?
Probably.
Dude who made Midnight in Paris, he's a director, and he married his stepdaughter. Gross, don't like it.
Yeah,
He's icky. Gives me the red flags. Jonah Hill, red flag.
Oh, red flag. For sure, red flag. Ooh.
Absolute red flag. Okay, let me think. Give me some like famous dudes in Hollywood.
I can only think of ones that would be like green light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Taye Diggs.
Taye Diggs is the greenest of all.
I know. He actually probably has a lot of red flags. Like he cheated on Idina Menzel.
Yeah.
But I love him still. Yes. I love his toxicity.
Baby. I mean, that is toxic, but also like, no, I can't even forgive that. He's just very pretty though.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe he's yellow flag. We have to move him to yellow a little bit. Tay baby.
Yeah. Oh, stop it.
Yesterday,
no, I love him.
I did this. Maybe actually, hold on. Bam. Boom. I don't care about Hollywood men anymore. Do you know what we're going to do?
What?
Disney prince and princesses.
Okay.
Because I did this last night.
What?
I ranked, like, I was using a filter on the TikTok and it was like rank the Disney princes. And they give you like, it just like, you know how it goes like,
yeah.
And then you have to pick the one. I don't know what that's how I think a jackpot machine sounds because I don't play gambling. But it's like, and then it lands on one of them. And I ranked them, baby. Okay. I ranked those Disney princes. Top 5, no go for me. Absolutely not. Number 1, John fucking Smith.
Ooh.
Is he beautiful? Absolutely. Is he a colonizer though? Yes, he is. And mama, that's why he's on my top 5 of red flags. Red flag prince,
yucky.
Right? Prince Charming. You're probably like, why? Did he do anything wrong? He didn't do anything wrong necessarily, but he's very granola.
Yeah.
He's very like...
very standard.
Very like... Basic. Right? Mm-hmm. I say this, and yesterday I even said, like, he was my number 1. So I'm going to know Prince Naveen, babe, gorgeous, from The Princess and the Frog. I was like, I would be a frog for him. Ribbit, baby. But when he started out that journey, a little toxic, you know? Did he become a better person? Yes. But, like, if we're going off of the vibes in the first moment, you come to me when you have... fixed yourself, babes.
Yeah, that's true. And fixing yourself doesn't mean you went to therapy once.
No, it doesn't. It means you have to change a lot of behaviors.
Yes.
Okay.
Consistency. Words match actions.
Yeah. And Prince Naveen, he got there, but at first, I'm gonna say no. Any of the dudes, the princes from Frozen, it's a no-go for me.
Oh.
And I know.
Frozen's just a no for me.
I don't love it.
Completely no.
Like,
I don't either.
Hans, is that the guy's the guy that if he has mutton chops, he's a villain. He got mutton chops, babe, he's a villain. I don't know the other one's name in it, the nice one, but he just looks, like I said, he looks like a Yazified Wreck-It Ralph.
Ew.
Yeah. I think the last person to put on the red flag list, I mean, there's a bunch of them, but would definitely be dude from Tangled, Flynn Rider. Beautiful again. He steals shit. He manipulated the Rapunzel, and baby, we don't stick with guys who manipulate. And he had a soul patch.
Do you know what I'm thinking as you're talking about this? All of the different Disney princess figurines I have to put on top of my pens.
Yeah. You have a lot of pens to make.
Oh my gosh, so many pens. It's like such an ADHD fixation though.
I mean, hey, if it helps concentrate, do it.
Like I can't stop.
Who do you think your 5 red flag Disney princesses are?
Oh gosh. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge Disney princess fan, which is shocking since I make beautiful pens of them.
You do.
So I would say like all of them, and I'm like a big villains fan.
I mean, some of the villains had it right. They really did.
Ursula, probably my favorite.
Baby had some points.
That's right.
Because I think she was trying to teach her a lesson.
Maleficent,
I need to be honest with you.
What?
I am that petty. If you don't invite me to a fucking party, oh, I'm cursing everyone.
Oh, for sure.
Baby.
For sure.
That's rude.
For sure.
And I'm the aunt? Honey.
I mean, that's just how I am. Like, you piss me off and...
Everyone's being cursed.
Seriously.
Yeah. Do not pass... Like, you can't do that to me. Is there going to be cake there? That's, you know, that is targeted.
Right. For sure.
Everyone, I love me some cake with like not butter frosting. Is that what's called buttercream frosting?
Buttercream,
I like the
cream cheese.
The Cool Whip.
Oh, Cool Whip.
Ooh, the Cool Whip frosting on like a nice marble cake. It's my favorite. And you're not gonna invite me for some? Death.
I know. One of the drug reps pissed me off, and I'm just like, as your job should be to not piss me off.
Right.
Like, this is a small world.
Baby.
I have zero responsibility to forgive you. You had all of the responsibility to not piss me off.
And they done did.
And they did. So I'm sorry. You got to learn that lesson.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
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 In that case, you're the good villain.
I am the good villain.
Right.
I'm Maleficent.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other good. Well, no, Mother Gothel was kind of awful. Well, Mother Gothel was awful to a degree because she did, like, you know, kidnap a child and, like, was obsessed with her hair. But she was like, men suck.
Do you know who we could talk about for being toxic?
Who?
JoJo Siwa.
What happened?
You don't know this?
No, I do. I'm saying what happened, though.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Fall
She
from
was.
grace.
Was she canceled fully or just like half?
I don't know. I think it's like ambiguous at this moment.
Because I think at first I was kind of like, we're kind of like afraid of even saying anything about JoJo because she was like at that. But right now I feel like.
I know. It's like I think we almost have to go back and redo the episode on child stars because that Nickelodeon documentary came out.
Oh my God.
You want to talk about toxic fucking dudes.
Oh my God.
Dan Schneider is a piece of shit.
I cannot even believe that what's his name? Peck, the one that sexually assaulted Drake.
Brian Peck.
Yes.
Yeah.
His charges that he pled to and the
minimal.
sentence, I cannot.
No, we could and should do an entire episode on this because I watched the documentary. Which was really triggering. Like, if anyone has been, like, abused as a kid, really
it should have been a trigger warning beforehand.
Oh, my God. It was so much. So I was like, ugh. So I was watching that, and, like, so many, like, things that I was just like, again, I think it's when you go into this culture, a work culture, Hollywood culture of, like, if I say this, then they'll pick someone else, or everyone's replaceable, right? And I think that, like, you saw what it created, especially when working with kids, right? Someone in it said when kids are the sole provider for their family, then it's some people kind of more likely to oop. But Dan Schneider was a toxic asshole. Like he would he made two women like split the same salary. He among horrible other things, he was just a misogynistic asshole.
I mean, I think it's that transition from like child star to adult, like Amanda Bynes,
Britney Spears, Jamie Lynn Spears, JoJo Siwa.
Ariana Grande like did it gracefully though.
I mean, she still I think she's like had some bumps along the way of trying to figure stuff out, but like she was pretty
open about it though. Yeah, maybe that's the difference.
And I think like hers was a little bit. She kind of went to stardom a little bit later in her childhood, like in her like later teens, whereas some of these kids were like. Amanda Bynes was like 3, 4, and 5, like doing stuff already. You know, Britney Spears was like 5 or 6.
Do you think that it's better or worse, like the more social media we have now? Because obviously Britney Spears' transition didn't happen with TikTok and Instagram. JoJo Siwa's
kind of did, yeah.
For sure did. Like she has like what, 1 billion followers or something?
I think a bit of both, honestly.
Yeah.
I think like in some ways, I think a lot of kids are going to go through very similar stardom issues because then we only had the people we saw on TV to celebritize and focus on. And now a kid there's so many influencers we don't even know about because, you know, there's 170 million people in the US that are on TikTok. So like, a 13-year-old could have 2 million followers doing, skincare stuff or whatever the fuck. I don't know what kids are doing. But like that transition from having the 2-3 million followers, everything dwindles down. I've dwindled down. Everyone does. People are at the height of their career and then they go down. There's always someone new. I think we're going to have a lot of kids, a lot of influencers that we don't even know about have this same issue because they are getting this recognition that people were only getting from being on All That or the Amanda Show or, you know, putting out things. And now we have...
Or putting out hair bows.
Hair bows.
You know, and that's another thing, like with the JoJo thing, like remember she did that, like the performance with G-Flip?
Yeah.
And then people have been criticizing her for dressing like G-Flip and playing the drums. Yeah. Right? Is that what you've seen too? Yeah. So my question is though, maybe she just didn't feel comfortable enough to actually like express herself the way that like she wanted to, right?
Yeah.
And G-Flip, who doesn't give a flying fuck,
right?
Like, and it's just like authentically themselves. Right. Like maybe that was just like inspiring for her.
Maybe, and maybe we're just being shitty people by being like,
yeah. I mean, the TikToks are funny, but I mean.
Like, my God.
Listen, if I was ranking a list of women in Hollywood, G-Flip would be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Have you watched like any of G-Flip's TikToks? That Australian accent, like they could say anything.
And you're like, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
What you're saying is we need to do an episode about
G-Flip?
G-Flip.
Oh my gosh, we totally should.
We'll have to do a Disney episode.
Disney. Nickelodeon.
A Nickelodeon episode about that. And then we'll do a G-Flip.
Oh my gosh. Why can't we get G-Flip to come on our podcast?
We'll beg. We'll plead.
G-Flip, please. Please come on our podcast.
I don't know how we deterred so far away from toxic men, but I think it's just because the idea of
I think it's because we have raging like, ADHD.
And also like who the fuck wants to talk about toxic men constantly because they're gross and terrible and I hate them.
It's exhausting.
But not all men are bad.
Not all men. Just stop ignoring the red flags. Yeah. You're not here for the red flags.
I'm going to say, like what is your one piece of advice for avoiding toxic men?
To run away if words don't match actions. So if someone's saying like, I'm really like you, I'm super into you, and then they're not asking you out on dates, seeing you, canceling plans on you, or anything like that, that's a problem. Well, we have a problem.
100%.
So, and is someone starting to pull away after like they were totally into you? Problem.
Yep.
Or the people that say that they are securely attached, red flag.
Yeah. 100%. Like when people, what is that saying? When people show you who they are, believe them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that if you have specifically a son, because I feel like we do much better with young women on teaching them about emotions and, but if you specifically, and we're talking about toxic men, so, encourage them and teach them and educate them on consent, on feeling emotions, on being able to feel those ugly ones we don't like rejection,
expressing
and sadness.
Themselves.
Yeah, that it's okay to call and vent and validate those feelings you're feeling.
And cry.
Yeah, all those things are good. Because specifically moms out there, you were a young woman once, and I'm sure that you had someone that made you feel uncomfortable or that didn't accept you now, and you do not want to continue that pattern. So let's do that. And then when we get enough people involved with that, we'll start teaching consent and rejection and those feelings in fucking school, because that's important as well. And that's how I think we end the bullshit.
Yeah.
With education. The teacher side jumped out.
Yes. Education.
Education. Oh my God, we did it. We talked about toxic men.
We did it.
We deserve all the foods and
all of it.
Naps and doggy dogs. Okay, so we will see you next week.
Yes. I hope we have our t-shirts next week.
Yes, we have amazing t-shirts coming. We will be doing fun giveaways for the t-shirts.
Yeah.
And pens.
Oh, pens. Yeah. We have the mug. I told you about the mug beads, right?
Yep.
No, the beads for the pens. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So we have some giveaway stuff, and
Someone asked me if I could get a Tell Williams bead.
Oh, that's weird.
Like, there's like Taylor Swift beats and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not Taylor Swift.
Well, yeah, I know. But I might ask my contact, like, can you make a beat?
Can you make it with not this haircut, though?
Definitely not that haircut.
Yeah, different one.
Yeah. Next week when we film, we'll have the redo.
Yeah. I'll have a different...
Bless his heart,
I'll take my hat off next week. So
Thank you, Emerson, for your service.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Keep an eye out for ways that you can grab t-shirts and pens from us, and drop down what you want us to cover besides the Disney and the Nickelodeon and all that.
And G-Flip.
And the G-Flip. Can't forget the G-Flip. All right. Bye.
Bye.